Hi everyone. Okay, so yesterday I wrote that I was going to tell my story as I am new to the group. So I'm going to start now. If you would like to watch from the start, of course, feel free. Write any comments. Come chat with me if you're on at the moment. I know a lot of places in the world it's quite early in the morning. So anyway, I'm going to start. So my name is Rachel Johnson. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Australia. I'm born in Perth, but I'm currently living in Melbourne. I've also been travelling around the world for 10 years. And I decided to come back and settle my life down this year when I got back from London in January. Hi Nancy. So that's a little bit about me. So how did this all happen for me? You know, we've all got our story and what we've been through and how we've been there. So mine's a little bit more complicated than the normal kind of what happened with the codeine. So I went to Philippines to meet my partner this year, end of March and the beginning of April for 1 week. And when I got back, well, actually the night before I left, I got really sick and I got taken into hospital in Philippines, which was pretty scary considering the hospital was really quite average. So anyway, I got given some antibiotics and sleeping tablets to get myself back on the flight the next day to get back to Perth, 15 hours. And when I got back, I still felt off and I was just like, went to the doctors and I said, there's something up. And they said everything seemed to be fine. Maybe it's just a virus you got. And I thought, okay, we'll see how we go. Got back to Melbourne about, I think 3 weeks later, or just under 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And when I was in Melbourne, I was still feeling really quite average. And I thought, nah, there's something going on. So I went back to the doctor, did some samples, found out that I actually had a parasite, an amoeba one. And found out it was actually quite a rare parasite. So I was like, fantastic, this is just great. I had just started a new job at the time. I just moved back to Melbourne to be with my partner. And all I was feeling was crap. And I was just frustrated. So that was true. So they give me antibiotics. So there was 2 already antibiotics I've taken in the span of, I think it was like 4 weeks or something. And then after the antibiotics, still didn't feel right. And I thought, nah, there's something going on. Someone needs to look at this again. So I went back, did the same thing, found out the amoeba, the parasite, was still in me, eating away my stomach lining, which is absolutely horrible. So then I got given another dose of antibiotics, my 3rd dose within 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And I ended up getting really sick from all of that. The parasite had finally gone. So I was like, woohoo, finally get back my life in track. And unfortunately, I still felt sick. And I thought, what's going on? I got so fatigued and so feeling off that I had to quit my job. And I ended up going to hospital in emergency in Box Hill. Got a drip in me for about 4 or 5 hours. Been there, and they said, yep, you're good to go home. So I felt a bit better and I thought, maybe I was just dehydrated. So then I went back to the hospital the next day. I still was like, I was throwing up and had, wasn't well. And I got put into the gastrology and I got put a drip in me for 36 hours. Was it 30 hours? But yeah, long time anyway. And once the drip in me for a while, I still felt a bit off and I started getting some headaches and I was like, oh, that's just must be part of the virus, or maybe my back's out, I need to go see my chiropractor, which wasn't the case, obviously. And then the gastrologist came to see me. I was there in hospital for 3 nights, and I had the guy make sure, the doctor came and checked if I had disease or anything, and everything was fine, my blood tests were fine. So I was like, okay. And then the doctor said, oh, we'll discharge you and you can leave the hospital. And I was like, cool. But then he said the neurologist will come and see you today. And I thought, okay, cool. So I waited for the neurologist to come in. He came in 10 minutes before I was meant to be discharged. He asked me to stay in the hospital, but I was so drugged up on endones. They gave me endones through like the whole 3 nights. and the days, I was just felt like I was out of it the whole time, and you feel like you're in La La Land. And my partner looked at me, and I was happy because I was on endome, and I didn't realise the endome was actually what was making me smile. And the neurologist said, would like you to stay in the hospital and do a few things to check your headaches. And I was just like, no, I'm discharging. So then he left me a script to take home with me and collect the migraine tablets on the Monday, which was like 2 days or something like that. And then he also wanted me to get an MRI. So when I got discharged, I got the tablets for my migraines, but in that time he said to get Panadine Fort and take Nurofen, and that should help the migraines until you get the actual medicine. So then I got the actual medicine, and it just made me spaced out, and I was sleeping all the time, and I could hardly move. It was hideous. It was really bad. So then I went back into hospital a week later, and I started getting really bad depression. I was crying all the time. And Mum came over from Perth to be with me in Melbourne to be there for me in the hospital. Then we were in the hospital, and they did the injection in my spine, checked the fluid. They did another two MRIs. They did blood tests, and everything kept coming back fine. So for the life of me, I didn't know what was going on. My family and I were frustrated. We were both like, my mum was like, what's going on? We just didn't know. And then, like, my last night, they put me in the maternity ward where it was a lot quieter. And I actually remember the ladies giving me the Panadine Fort, and I was just like, no, I don't want it. And she's like, well, you can't just stop. You need to have it. So I was like, okay. So I had it. Obviously, it helps you sleep, as you know. And also, while I was in hospital as well, they gave me a fusion to try and help my migraines. And it did help for, a day there. And we thought, well, yeah, things are getting better. God, the lighting here is hideous. Just trying to find where there's alright lighting. Okay, that's a bit better. So yeah, then I got actually overdosed on a fusion that was meant to be over 3 days, and they did it with me in 5 hours, which was really, really bad. So then, yeah, pretty much I left the hospital, and Mum said to me, right, come back to Perth with me. So I did, got on the plane the next day. I tell you what, having chronic headaches, getting on a plane was, oh my gosh, it was hell. It was so horrible. Then we got back to Perth, and Mum was looking after me, and I was sleeping through the whole day, and I felt nausea all the time. And I got given some different tablets again before I left, and they made me feel really sick. And I could hardly eat, and I lost all my weight. I lost like 9 kilos. I was 58 kilos, and I went down to 49 within a span of like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And then Mum went away for the weekend, and I was very dependent on her, especially after being in hospital and all that happened. And my dad and his partner looked after me, and I slept over there for the night. And, you know, I was checking my temperature all the time, and I was like, there was just really bizarre behaviour, and I kept begging to go back to hospital, but of course not realising that it was actually codeine withdrawals that I was going through, that why I won't go back to hospital, because they'll give me codeine. So naturally my brain was like, yes, give it to me. And it was actually my dad, his partner. Nessie! Stop it. Wait. Sorry, the dogs were barking. Urgh. Wait. Stop it. Sorry, guys. And then, yeah, so anyway, my dad and his partner and my brother were the ones that figured out that I had codeine withdrawals. It wasn't actually the doctors that ever caught on to it. It was actually my family. And I had no idea that that was even a possibility. I was so blinded to the situation. I was like, no, I don't. And it took me a while to actually come through and actually admit to myself that I had a codeine addiction. That I started taking codeine when I was 16, originally for my backache, because I had really bad back, and I had really bad headaches from my back when I was little. So I started taking them naturally, just myself, over the counter, you know, not ever a doctor, just did it myself. And I wasn't taking any more, between probably 6 and 8 a day, but it was for 12 years straight. So it was a very strong dependency, and something that I didn't realise I was taking. There would even be days I'd take codeine extra or Panadine Fort, you know. And I remember when I was in London, because I was in, like I said, I travelled a lot. When I was in London, my friend, I gave him one of my tablets and he was knocked out for 6, like knocked out. I had 2 and I was fine. I was absolutely fine. Like, I was just like normal. And even then, it didn't trigger to me I had a problem. I just thought, okay, maybe he's just different to me. That was it. But really, I had a problem. And then through this, I had the horrible withdrawals, the vomiting, I had the shakes, and I still get the shakes now and then, but that was probably more the minor kind of withdrawal. I had cramps, like, you know, like when you get the flu, like times 100, and my whole body was cramping. My arm was always, actually the arms were the worst. Don't know why, but my arms were always the worst. And then I started doing the kind of like when you're asleep, I don't know if anyone else has had this, your leg kind of just kicks or does something and you just wake up, like insomnia. Like just a little movement would wake me up, to the point where I was walking around all night long and sleeping through the day. Like I couldn't sleep at night and it was getting really scary. And my mum was looking after me one night because I was really ill. And yeah, she just said, if you keep doing this, you're going to kill yourself. Like, you just can't keep doing this to yourself. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't go into rehab. I didn't have the doctors. I had my family looking after me 24/7. I was like sort of on suicidal watch because for 4 weeks there I needed 24/7 care. I couldn't be left alone by anyone. Sorry about that. Just got a call. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, Mum said, right, that's it, we'll take you to a doctor down south, because I was in Margaret River. And the Margaret River doctor was absolutely phenomenal. He was so honest to me and so down the line about, you know, what will happen. It's all about time. You've got to wait. It's time. It's time. And, you know, I'm not a patient person. I'm like, oh, I just wish this would stop now. You know, it's like you just feel like screaming and yelling at the same time. And, yeah, so the weight loss was really bad. I looked like skin and bones, literally. It was terrifying. And he just said, right, to help yourself with the sleep, take amitriptyline. I don't know if anyone does take it, but when I started taking it, it was the first night in 3 weeks, I think it was, that I actually started to have some sort of sleep at night time. Like, I remember sleeping one day from like 9 o'clock at night to 9 in the morning, and I went, oh my gosh, wow. Because obviously I only take 10 milligrams and it just relaxes all around the brain, it relaxes the body. So, you know, you get to actually get a good night's sleep, and that literally saved my life. Thank you to that doctor down south. Amazing. I'm so lucky for finding it. It does make you really hungry at the start when you take it, which was great for me because I was skin and bones. So when I started taking it, I just ate and ate and ate and ate. Now I still eat a little bit like that, but not much. I can control it now because I've started doing my exercise now. But that's just one of the side effects you get for a while, but you do, you know, get out of that. So for me, going through all that, and I suffered really bad depression from all of this. At the start, I couldn't even open my eyes. I couldn't talk. When I got taken to the doctors, my dad had to do the talking. I just kind of sat there like this and just, you know, didn't even know what was going on, to be honest. So I am on Loven now. I'm on only 20 milligrams of Loven, and it has been fantastic. It's really helped my depression, which is really good. Like anyone, you know, I go up and down. Like, we have good days and we have bad days, which is totally normal. So my experience, you know, for me, I honestly, I'd rather go through surgery and go through anything else than go through this ever again. It has been absolutely terrifying. The dreams I had nightmares at the start. I still get vivid dreams now, but not scary ones, which is good. My sleep is starting to get a lot better. The fatiguing through the day was probably one of my hardest things to deal with, and I still get a little bit of it now, but you know, each day and each week just gets better and better. And I just have to start believing, you just got to start believing in yourself that anything is possible if you put your mind and power towards it. At the time, I found it really hard, so I know it's easier to say than be done, but if you just keep saying it to yourself, and even if you don't believe it, one day something will just click and something triggers the brain, and it's like you start believing in yourself. And also another thing, I don't know if anyone else has this, but I also get a lot of tingles, like my hands tingle or my arm tingles. I've even had my tongue tingle when I was actually in the chemist getting my prescription drugs, and I was seeing Nurofen Plus right in front of me, and my whole tongue just tingled away, craving it. I still get some headaches, not nearly as bad as what they were. They're manageable now. And sometimes I get the most weird burning sensation on my head. Like that one's been lasting a while now, 4 weeks, but it's gone down now. But that one's been really weird. Like to have like a burning sensation in your head it's bizarre. And my psychologist said to me, it's just pretty much your brain, you know, the neutrons going zzz, 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 like just wanting the codeine because it's so used to being relying on it that now I've gone through almost 12 weeks of being codeine free. My brain is slowly getting used to it, but like anything, like the doctor said, it's time. So what I wanted to show you as well were some things that I have been doing to help myself, because I think this would, I think this would help everyone. I think we all need to help each other and give any ideas, you know, that will help each other to get further along with this. So, the first one. You Can Heal Your Life. This book is self-help and it's a positive book, and I've been reading it, and it tells you to, like, for example, to look in the mirror and say, I love myself exactly the way I am right now, and say that every day in the mirror. And if you don't believe it, just keep doing it, because you will eventually believe it, I can guarantee you. Books like this, my dad gave this to me to help me. High Hopes. So for example, I'll just pick any random page. Let's see. Impress Yourself. In the end, there's only one person who can judge. Only one knows your true thoughts and feelings, and that's you. Forget about living up to other people's expectations. Create your own expectations and live up to them. And I think this book is great. I read this every day, 1 page or 2 pages a day. Another thing. You're going to laugh at me, but honestly, this has been my lifesaver. A lot of people use this for the gym. I've been using this for my neck. Oh, so good. And for my head, because of the headaches I get. I like to pinpoint and put them in the trigger places. And I can do this for an hour, lay down for an hour and just do this and have a heat pack under my back with this. And honestly, it's like my own therapy. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. For those who are spiritual, I've been using angel cards to be able to just, I don't know, I'm a very spiritual person. Some people might think it's crazy, but these spiritual cards are fantastic, and they've also been helping me because I've been speaking to my angels. I also go to church. I'm Christian. I'm not full-blown Christian, but I am Christian. And going to church has been really nice as well. All my sisters there in church have been amazing. Another book I recommend everyone should read. I haven't read it yet, but Killing the Perfection Within. It's a self-help guide for women who suffer perfectionism, anxiety, and chronic fatigue syndrome. And it helps with pain as well. That's been another really great way to help. And just little spiritual books, you know, like beliefs. It's just about believing in who you are and loving who you are. You know, I start my first PA meeting next week, which I'm really, really excited about. Pills Anonymous. Because mine was codeine, but it was also the habit of taking a tablet for everything. A tablet for the flu, a tablet for a cough, a tablet for sore throat. Like everything was just tablet, and that was also a dependency. So it was codeine, but also tablets. Also, one thing that I did that I'm really proud of, when I left Melbourne, my partner's best friend invited me to get back to Melbourne, but to drive across the Nullarbor, which is from one side of Australia to the other. We did this in 4 days, which is amazing. And I had my travel buddy, which she's called Tinker Turtle, and she had one called Busby, and we had some great times, because that was a very special moment for me, because when I was in Perth and I was dealing with my illness, I also had my pop that had a stroke. He was 89 when he had the stroke, but he was quite a fit 89-year-old. You know, he lived on his own and did things on his own, but this stroke just knocked him, and he just got worse and worse. And 2.5 weeks later, the day that I left Perth to go to Melbourne, he passed on. And on that trip, I saw 2 shooting stars, which was amazing, because I believe that was him. So there's been a lot going on in my family. So in the 4 months, you know, with me having the codeine withdrawals as well as depression, my mum had a bit of cancer taken out of her nose, surgery. My mum's partner had major shoulder surgery. My mum also had pneumonia when I was sick, God bless her. Dan, my mum's partner, also got a really bad virus, and he lost about 6-7 kilos within like 4 days. And also then my pop had a stroke and passed on. Bless his heart. So yes, I just want to let everyone know that you're not alone. We're not alone. I want us to, we can all work together, create a difference in this world. See it as what we went through, or going through, or will go through, is one of the hardest things that we can ever go through, because honestly, I think anything else I've had in my life is way easier than this. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts and my feelings, and I know it's a really long live. I did say it was complicated. It wasn't the most easiest situation. It wasn't straightforward, unfortunately. But yeah, doctors suck. They didn't even pick up on it. But anyway, life goes on. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been supportive towards me. I've only been on the site for 3 days, this group, and you've all just been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much. And I hope if anyone ever wants to talk to anyone, I don't judge. I've never put anyone down. I'm more than happy for us to have a chat and a talk. And if anyone lives in Melbourne, I'd love to catch up with you and have a good coffee or lunch and have a chat, because, you know, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one going through this. So yeah. Thanks everyone for letting me do my video, and I will hopefully see you all around soon. Thanks everyone, bye. Oh, and before I go, we can all do this. Believe in yourself, you and I, we can all do this. We're just as awesome as anyone else. Bye everyone, thank you.